Hey folks, I'm Sharon Mukhtari. I'm the lead teardown technician at iFixit, where we recently took a look at Apple's 2nd-gen AirTags. Check out the teardown if you haven't already seen it. In that video, our team basically debunked the claim that the AirTag 2 speaker is harder to disable. I wanted to take it a step further today and show you the easiest way to silence that speaker without compromising the water resistance. This keeps the IP67 rating intact, which is critical if you're like me and you track something exposed to the elements like an e-bike. Alright, clench up and let's get to work. First things first, let me show you how the AirTags maintain their IP67 rating. IP67 being full immersion in water for up to 30 minutes to a depth of 1 meter. The obligatory non-metric equivalent would be roughly 2.2 house cats, not including the tail. That's 1.2 house cats if you have one with a tail. To those it applies to, consider this your daily reminder that not knowing the metric system is the equivalent of animal abuse, you absolute barbarians. The IP67 rating is thanks to this rubber-like material on this gray section of the AirTag that acts as a gasket which creates a seal when the lid is attached. It's that simple, so any modification we perform within the circumference of the lid is protected from water ingress up to that IP67 rating. Now, understanding what's protected from water and what's not is key, because I'm going to use a soldering iron to make a hole in the plastic. That hole is going to give me access to one of 2 contacts leading from the speaker to the PCB underneath this plastic. I've actually got the parts from our teardown device here, so I can show you exactly where that hole needs to be. Here's the plastic sitting right on top of the PCB, and if I shine a light underneath it, you should see those 2 thinner sections of the plastic. That's where the 2 speaker leads sit. I'm circling it with a pen here, and on close-up you can see the area I'm going to melt, which is under the left battery contact and sits around that letter C and the number 8. Thankfully, there aren't any ICs or sensitive components under the section that can get damaged. Once I have my opening, I can see that large silver patch of solder, and I'll use some copper braid to remove the solder on the PCB to help release the thin speaker wire. And by the way, that speaker wire is really not easy to see, and that's also why I'm removing the solder. To be extra sure, I'm widening the hole and making sure there's nothing making contact with that pad. That should do it. I'm going to clean up any protruding plastic with a blade, and once that debris is clear, I can test it out by placing the battery in. Usually when an AirTag powers on after installing a battery, it chimes. I'm not hearing a chime, which is good so long as I haven't killed the tag itself. And sure enough, the phone is still finding the tag. Double check the speaker can't activate, and confirmed this AirTag is in stealth mode and retains its IP67 rating. So how do we feel about this? The safety and security concern around these things are well known, and disabling the speaker makes them harder to detect. But what's less talked about is that malfeasants have better options than AirTags, options that don't notify the person being tracked at all. At least iPhones and Androids can still warn a user being tracked with a modded AirTag via a notification on their phones. The truth is that the legitimate uses for modded AirTags far outnumber the illegitimate ones. Personally, I hide one of these on my bike, and I'm counting on the AirTag notifying any potential thief through their phone, but not audibly. At which point the hope is they won't be able to locate the tag and they panic and ditch the bike. I don't want a confrontation, I just want my property back. If that's you, then mod away. If it's not, then stop, think, and get some help. As my buddy says, remember the golden rule: don't be a d***. Till next time.